Well, hello angels and welcome back to my channel. As you can tell, today we're back with a brand new video. I really couldn't tell you what's going on with this angle right now. I do apologise, but you know, this is the first video I'm filming in a while. I think it's like the 10th of January. The last one I filmed was my yearly wrap up of books that I read. Today's is a book video. I know it looks different because this is where I usually film my makeup videos, but I have a massive stack of books here that I want to show you. This is a book haul if you didn't get that by the title, because I recently brought a fair few books, you know, and I wanted to share them with you. Obviously a lot of these will be going on my TBR list. There's a lot. I don't know when I'll actually get through them or the order that I'm going to read them in yet. I know if the next 2 books for definite that I'm gonna read, which one of them's in this pile and one of them which is Daisy Jones and the Six, which I brought before Christmas, before I even went home, which is on my bookshelf, which is one of my next reads. But as this is a book video and a book haul, let's just jump straight into the video. So a few of these I did by myself, and 2 of them I think my mum brought me for Christmas. She asked what I wanted and I kind of just sent her a list and she picked 2 of the books on my list and then other things obviously. But the first book I'm going to show you I actually brought myself with Christmas money from my nan. I brought a lot of other things and then this book came out and I really wanted it. So this book, to start off with, before I get into this book, I think I have 16 new books. Yeah, I have 16 new books. This is, you know, so the first one I have, which I brought myself, is You'll Be the Death of Me by Karen M. McManus. If you didn't know, I actually really love her books. She wrote One of Us Is Next, Two Can Keep a Secret, and I can't remember the other one, and then The Cousins. I only have The Cousins in a physical copy, and now this one. I don't have the other 3 in physical copies yet, but this one, when I read the blurb, I just knew that I had to get it, and these sprayed edges are amazing. And the next one's called One of Us Is Next. There we go. So I'll read you the blurb. So it says, skipping school is fun until someone gets murdered. Ivy, Mateo and Cal used to be close, best friends back in middle school. So when Cal pulls into campus late for class and runs into Ivy and Mateo, they decide to ditch school, just like old times. But they're not the only ones skipping school that day. When the trio spot classmate Brian Boney Mahoney acting suspiciously downtown, they follow him into an empty building and walk straight into a murder scene. Now their day of freedom has turned deadly. It's only a matter of time before the truth comes out. I mean, I love her books and I love like the mysteries, so I'm really hoping that that's a good book. So the next 2 that I'm going to go into are ones that I got gifted for Christmas. So as I said, I sent my mum my wish list and she decided to get 2 of them because my sister asked for 2 books, so it was like just kind of equal to give me 2, which is fine. She picked 2 from my wish list. So the first one is The House on Hoarder Hill by Mickey Lish and Kelly Nagy. I don't want to say that wrong. But yeah, the reason this is on my list is because Carrie Hope Fletcher did a book video book live on her book account, which is Prattle and Pages, and all of the books sound amazing, so I added all of them to my wish list. But here we are. So this one is when Hetty and Spencer start seeing cryptic messages appear around their grandfather's spooky house on Hoarder Hill, their holiday takes a sinister turn even. What is their magician grandfather up to? What is he not telling them about the disappearance of their grandmother? With the help of a talking stag's head and also talking bear rug and other peculiar spirits, the children set out to discover the truth. I love this. There's also on the back, there's like what 3 words? There's this book in 3 words: spooky, magical and adventure. I'm so excited to read this. The next one is The Midnight Thief by Sylvia Bishop. Where have I had that name before? I don't think I've had any books by her. Don't know. a spine-tingling mystery of moonlight and mayhem. When Freya finds herself an unwilling student at an exclusive boarding school, she doesn't expect anything interesting to happen. But then she meets Daniel and Esme, wildlife-obsessed twins who take Freya under their wing and show her the wonder of their midnight world. Just as Freya is feeling more at home, disaster strikes. The mysterious Eldria dragons, priceless artifacts belonging to the school, are stolen. Who is the Midnight Thief? Can Freya find them before the dragons are lost forever? But this is very much towards like children and young adult. Just the way that the like words are like spread out. But either way, and it's from, yeah, I'm really excited to give this a go. I really can't wait to read that. So the next few are ones that I brought myself. So this one I just randomly brought myself on Amazon. It's secondhand, so it's not in like the greatest condition, but like either way. This is Cinder by Marissa Meyer. So I think this is a series because it says The Lunar Chronicles. I think this is a series, but I'm really, really excited to read this. I've been wanting to get this for a while and I just haven't apparently. But I'm really excited to give this a go whenever I get around to reading this. So it says, Cinder, a gifted mechanic in New Beijing, is also a cyborg. She was reviled by her stepmother and blamed for her stepsister's sudden illness. But when her life becomes entwined with the handsome Prince Kai's, she finds herself at the centre of a violent struggle between the desires of an evil queen and a dangerous temptation. Cinder is caught between duty and freedom, loyalty and betrayal. Now she must uncover secrets about her mysterious past in order to protect Earth's future. I'm really excited to give this a go. If this is good, and I have high hopes for it, then I will buy the rest of the series, but if it's terrible, then I won't. This isn't the type of book I usually read. I'm usually like the mystery kind of person, but we're gonna give it a go. So the next 6 books that I brought after Christmas, so basically I got a £10 gift card for Amazon from one of my aunts, and basically Amazon were also having a 3 for £5 paperback book sale, so I also had to like get on that. So I got these 6 books for £10 and I'm going to show you them. So the first one that I brought is The Honeymooners by Christina Lauren. The reason I brought this, 1, I've seen it on TikTok and I wanted to read it, and 2, I'm in a book club and we have 2 books for this month. So the first one is It Ends With Us, which is kind of like the main book, but I've already read that. And they also chose another book, which is The Honeymooners, for people that have already read It Ends With Us, or people that don't want to read It Ends With Us because of everything that happens in the book. But that being said, I'm really, really excited to give this one a go. I can't wait to see what it's about. I have heard mixed reviews, so I'm hoping that it's good and not terrible, because I will be terrible otherwise. So, for 2 sworn enemies, anything can happen during a Hawaiian trip of a lifetime. Olive is always unlucky. Her identical twin sister Amy, on the other hand, is probably the luckiest person in the world. While she's about to marry her dream man, Olive is forced to play nice with her nemesis, the best man, Ethan. Yet Olive's luck may be on the turn when the entire wedding party, except for Olive and Ethan, gets food poisoning. There's an all-expenses-paid honeymoon in Hawaii up for grabs. Putting their mutual hatred aside, Olive and Ethan head for paradise. When Olive runs into her future boss, a little white lie she tells him spirals out of control. Forced to play loving newlyweds, she and Ethan find themselves in a closer proximity than they've ever expected. Soon, Olive finds that maybe she doesn't mind pretending. In fact, she's beginning to feel kind of lucky. So not really like the romance sort of vibes that I usually read, but you know. The next we have is The Coven by Lizzie Fry. Also really excited to give this a go. Let me repeat myself so we can be very clear. Women are not the enemy. We must protect them from ourselves. Imagine a world in which witchcraft is real. In this world, mothers pass on peaceful powers to their daughters, but the men in charge decide that this secret knowledge is dangerous. Not only dangerous, but illegal. As witches around the world are imprisoned, one young woman discovers a power she did not know she had. This terrifying force puts her at the top of the list in a global witch hunt, but she, and the women around her, won't give in easily, not while all women are under threat. I love this. I'm excited to see if this has the girl power that I think it has from that back, and I'm really excited to see where that goes. The next one we have is, pick it up, Ruthless Woman by Melanie Blake. I'm excited to give this a go. The cover kind of got me, so we'll see if this is any good. Ambition can be deadly. On a tiny private island off the coast of Jersey, the cast and crew of Falcon Bay are at breaking point. Their show was once the world's most popular soap opera, but ratings are at an all-time low. And when the new network owner, the malevolent Madeleine Kane, arrives, it is clear she'll do whatever it takes to get back to the #1 slot. Director Farah, star Catherine, and producer Amanda are the passionate, ambitious women trying to hold the production together. But thanks to their corrupt boss, Jake Monroe, their careers are under threat. Now, as Madeleine's pressure to revive the show intensifies, a battle of the sexes is unleashed. Can these women team up to bring down their rivals, or will jealousy, betrayal, and revenge rip their friendships apart? As the story reaches its shocking climax, one thing is for certain: only the most ruthless woman will survive. That is what I need, you know? I'm hoping that this lives up to the expectations that I want it to. So the next one we have is 8 Perfect Hours by Leah Lewis. Now, when I first saw this, it immediately screamed they both die at the end. To me, they are basically the same cover. Let me grab it and I'll show you. Like, I mean, this is 8 Perfect Hours and this is they both die at the end. The backs are even the same. I don't know if they have the same like cover designer or what, but either way, that's what got me with this book. And then I read the blurb and realised I had to read it. So this one is: when Noelle and Sam's lives collide one snowy evening, they spend 8 perfect hours stuck side by side, believing that they'll never see each other again. But soon their lives become entangled in ways they never expected, and it's going to change everything. I'm really excited because the front says, I'm really excited for this because the front says, what if you fell in love 8 perfect hours and then he disappeared? I'm really excited for that. I've got really high hopes for all of these books I'm showing. Now, I don't know what caught me about the next book, to be honest with you. So this is The Windsor Knot by S.J. Bennett. The reason I say this is because I'm a big fan of the Queen, you know, but I've never watched like The Crown and that sort of things. Like, never really interested me. But this book, right, sounds amazing. There's not really like much of a blurb to it. Oh, there is now. Okay, so the back says, on a perfect spring morning at Windsor Castle, Queen Elizabeth II will enjoy a cup of tea, carry out her royal duties, and solve a murder. It's not on the blurb, it's on the inside, but you know. Oh, it's a series. Won't know that. The first book in the delightfully clever mystery series in which Queen Elizabeth II secretly solves crimes while carrying out her royal duties. The morning after a dinner party at Windsor Castle, 89-year-old Queen Elizabeth is shocked to discover that one of her guests has been found murdered in his room, with a rope around his neck. When the police begin to suspect her loyal servants, Her Majesty knows they are looking in the wrong place. For the Queen has been living an extraordinary double life ever since her coronation, away from the public eye. She has a brilliant knack for solving crimes. With her household's happiness on the line, her secret must not get out. Can the Queen and her trusted secretary Rosie catch the killer without getting caught themselves? That sounds like such an amazing like mystery and story, and I just can't wait to read it. So the next one I did know is a series, but I didn't buy the other books that were on in the deal as well, for the reason that last time I did that, the series ended up being terrible, but I read them because I bought them. I read the first book and it was terrible, and then I read the other two hoping like would be better, but they weren't. So I have different hopes for this one, and I did just ruin it as well, so that's great. So this is Graceling by Kristen Cashaw. It's kind of like a not mystery, like fantasy, and if it is good, it could be really great and I will read the rest, but if not, then it sounds good. So In a world where people born with an exceptional skill known as grace, they are both feared and exploited. Katsa carries the burden of a skill that she despises, the grace of killing. Feared by the court and shunned by those of her own age, the darkness of her grace casts a heavy shadow over Katsa's life. Yet she remains defiant, and when she stumbles across a mysterious kidnapping, she investigates. Who would want to kidnap an old man, and why? And who was the extraordinary grace to man whose fighting abilities rivaled her own? The only thing Katsa is sure about is that she no longer wants to kill. The intrigue around this kidnapping offers her a way out, but something insidious and dark lurks behind the mystery, something spreading from the shadowy figure of a one-eyed king. It sounds so good, and there is 3 more in the series, so if this is good, then I will get the other ones, but I just wanted to be sure before I do buy them. So I've got 6 more books left to share with you. So these 6 books I brought after work. I spent all of between 5 and 10 minutes in Waterstones before it shut. My sister wanted to go pick up a book and she was picking me up from work. I finished at 5, Waterstones shuts at 4:30, so I literally walked over, had like 5-10 minutes in there and then left. So some of these books I got because Carrie recommended, or not, she didn't really recommend them. She showed them in her book haul and books that she wanted to read, and this is where we're at. So the first one we have, I didn't realise was small, but this is Empress and Anaya by Candice Carty-Williams. She also wrote Queenie, I think. Was it Queenie? Yeah. I didn't realise this book was tiny. And by tiny, I mean like 130 pages or something. I didn't know that, but when I saw it, I kind of picked it up. I mean, it's still the same price as a normal book, but, you know. So this is one Carrie shared that I wanted to get. So when Empress starts at Anaya's school, they're not exactly best friends. When the 2 teenage girls accidentally cast a spell on their 16th birthday and end up switching bodies, they quickly learn that friendship is the most important magic of all. This sounds like a really good book that I know I'm gonna love, but I just wish there was more than 135 pages to it. And it's also signed, and I didn't know that when I picked it up in the store until I got home. The next one I picked up, I've actually, when I go into Waterstones, not a lot of the time I will buy something. I always will take a picture on my phone so that when I next have money I will buy it, even though I never actually do that because I forget that I've taken a photo of it. But this book, I didn't realise at the time when I was there that I've actually picked this book up twice and taken photos of it and then forgot to buy it. So this is Gilded by Marissa Meyer, who wrote Cinder, no one talked about a minute ago. So I've picked up this, read the blurb, taken a photo of it because I wanted to get it and put it back and left, you know. So I think it was finding time that I brought it. So the look he was giving her, Cinder had never been looked at like that before. The intensity, the heat, the raw astonishment, he was going to kiss her. Cursed by the god of lies, a miller's daughter has developed a talent from storytelling, but all of her tales as false as they appear. When one of Cinder stories draws the attention of a devastating Earthling, she finds herself swept away into a world of enchantment, where ghouls proud the earth and ravens track her every move. The king locks Cinder in a castle dungeon and orders her to spin straw into gold or be killed for lying. In despair, Cinder unwittingly summons a mysterious young man to her aid, and when he agrees to help her for a price, but love wasn't meant to be part of the bargain. I'm so excited for this. It also says that Marissa Meyer, #1 New York Times bestselling author, returns with a sensational imagining of Rumpelstiltskin as you've never seen her before, and that I'm really, really excited for. I don't know when I'll read this because there's a lot on my list, but that I'm really, really excited for. The next one I have been seeing for a while, ever since I brought the Song of Achilles and Cirque. It keeps coming up on my TikTok and everything. This is Eradne? I can't say that. By Jennifer Saint. So this technically, when I brought this, wasn't out in paperback yet, but I didn't know that. So basically I went in and I asked her if she had any of this book, and she went back and she brought it out and she goes, so this book isn't actually out yet in paperback, it's next month's book of the month, but because you asked for it you can have it. And she sold it to me, you know. So well, babe, in my Waterstones back home, I'm really excited for this one. So when she gave it to me, it wasn't even out in paperback yet. It obviously is now because it's been a while since I brought this before Christmas, I think. Maybe it was after Christmas, I can't remember, but either way I brought this. So as Princess of Crete and daughter of King Minos, Antoinette and Federa grew up hearing the terrible bellows of the Minotaur from the labyrinth. The Minotaur, Minos' greatest shame, and Agnes' brother, demands blood every year. When Theseus, a prince of Athens, arrives in Crete as a sacrifice to the beast, Ariadne falls for him, but helping Theseus defeat the monster means betraying her family, and Ariadne knows that in a world ruled by mercurial god, drawing their attention can cost you everything. Ariadne has heard too many tales of women being punished for the acts of men, but she is determined to set her own fate. But will she find herself sacrificed for her lover's ambition? I'm really excited for this. I wanted to read this for a while. I definitely can't say any of the Greek names. I just doesn't work. But I'm really excited for that one. The next 3 books I've seen or recommended by Carrie, and one of them I have seen multiple times before and I just have not bought it yet. So the last three are all hardbacks because I brought them. The reason I went to Waterstones that day was because they were doing, it was the last day of their 50% off hardbacks, and I really wanted to get some of the books that I've been wanting. So, you know, and that's when I picked up the other 3 that weren't even hardbacks but I wanted. So the first one Carrie actually did read before I even bought this, and she said it was amazing, so I knew when I saw it I had to get it. I did go looking for it in the store as well. So this is The Cat Who Saved Books by Sasuke Natsuoka. I definitely didn't say that right, I do apologise, but I'm really excited to read this. So all the back says is Grandpa used to say it all the times, books have tremendous power, but what is that power really? I'm going to read you the blurb and then I'll tell you about it. So Natsuki Books was a tiny second-hand bookshop on the edge of town. Inside, towering shelves reached the ceiling, every one crammed full of wonderful books. Nintaro Natsuki loved this space that his grandfather had created. He spent many happy hours there, reading whatever he liked. It was a perfect refuge for a boy who tended to be something more of a recluse. After the death of his grandfather, Rentaro is devastated and alone. It seems he will have to close the shop. Then, a talking tabby cat called Tiger appears and asks Rentaro for help. The cat needs a book lover to join him on a mission. This odd couple will go 3 magical adventures to save books from people who have imprisoned, mistreated and betrayed them. Finally, there is one last rescue that Rentaro must attempt alone. I'm really excited for this. Carrie said it was amazing and I do trust her judgment, and I'm really excited to read this. I mean, cats and books are 2 things that I love the most, so I mean, why not? So I'm really excited to read that. The next book that I have, 1, I think Carrie talked about it, and 2, I have been wanting to read this for a while, even before I read one of her books before. So this is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which, if you didn't know, is the author of The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and Daisy Jones and the Six and many others. But I haven't read Daisy Jones and the Six yet, but I've heard it's amazing. But I did love Evelyn Hugo, so I have high hopes for this. One thing I don't like though is that there's not a blurb on the back. It's reviews, but we moved past that, you know. So I will read you the blurb. So Malibu, August 1983. It's the day of Nina Reaver's annual end of summer party, and anticipation is at a fever pitch. Everyone who's anyone wants an invite to catch a glimpse of the famous Reaver siblings. Nina, the talented surfer and supermodel. Brothers Jay and Hud, one a championship surfer and the other a renowned photographer. And their adored baby sister, Kit. Together, the siblings are a source of fascination in Malibu and the world over, especially as the children of legendary singer Mick Reaver. By midnight, the party will be completely out of control. By morning, the River mansion will have gone up in flames. But ahead of that first spark in the early hours before dawn, the alcohol will flow, the music will play, and the loves and secrets that shape this family will all come bubbling to the surface. And it says, Malibu Rising is the story of one unforgettable night in the life of a family, the night when they each have to choose what they will to keep from the people who made them and what they will leave behind. I'm really excited for this, and yeah, I cannot wait to read this. And then the last and final book that I have, when Carrie said the title of this one, I knew it was a book that I was gonna love, and this was the book that my sister actually took me to Waterstones because she wanted to pick up, and I really want to read it. This is actually the special edition one, so that's also great. So basically, when my sister said she was going to Waterstones, I tried to see if they had the book that I wanted online or on the app so that I could click and collect it and go and collect it after work. They didn't seem to have it in stock. Apparently you can get this edition in store, but they didn't even have it so I could pick it up in store. It just said it wasn't available. So I don't know how she managed to do it, but when the lady got it out and gave it to her, I was like, do you have any more of that book? We couldn't find it on the shelves, but she said there's like 3 in the store. So all these people were going on a hunt to find me this book that I really, really wanted, that I have been looking to get for a while. But in the end, they found it to me and I got it. So this is How to Kill Your Family by Bella Mackie. This is the special edition, like, hello. I'm pretty sure the other ones are like white with black writing or pink or something. But I love this cover. This is everything. And I know this book will be right up my street. So on the back it tells you reviews, and then this post-it note is what gets me. So it's like 4 like things to do. It says, kill my family, make a claim on their fortune, get away with the above, adopt a dog. Meet Grace Bernard, daughter, sister, colleague, friend, serial killer. Grace has lost everything and now she wants revenge. And then the actual like synopsis of the story is in here. So they say you can't choose your family, but you can kill them. I have killed several people, some brutally, others calmly, and yet I currently languish in jail for a murder I did not commit. When I think about what I actually did, I feel somewhat sad that nobody would ever know about the complex operation that I undertook. Getting away with it is highly preferable, of course, but perhaps when I am long gone, someone will open an old safe and find this confession. The public would reel. After all, almost nobody else in the world can possibly understand how someone, by the tender age of 28, can have killed 6 members of her family, and then happily carried on with the rest of her life, never to regret a thing. That is right up my street. So thanks for Carrie for showing that to me, and thanks to my sister for taking me to Waterstones, and I just happened to get it. And that is all the books that I brought, all 16 of them. This video is kind of long, but I do apologise. I do have work to get done now. So if you liked this video, please like and subscribe down below, because I will be doing many book videos. I always do a book video on a Wednesday. I also do have a podcast that I talk about books on if you're interested in that, and that is always linked down below if you're interested, along with all my socials are also down below. So I'm off now to reorganise my bookshelf, because if you would have seen from my previous book videos, not the one that just went out but the one before, this is what my bookshelf looks like, you see. But I really, for some reason, I knew not everyone's gonna like this, but I really want to try and rearrange my bookshelf in like colours. I really want to do that, so that's what I'm gonna do. No one can tell me different. But I don't actually have enough room on my bookshelf, so obviously series I'm not going to split up, so series will come off unless they're the same colour. They will come off, and I will just store them somewhere else for now. But yeah, so thanks again for watching, all my love angels, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.